Well, good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. So, hope you guys are having a great Saturday evening. I'm having a fantastic one. I am having my favorite meal, which is burgers. And I have changed. Now, I want to start by saying, first of all, you're looking at this and saying, he's eating bacon, he's got butter on here, and he's eating burgers. This is just bad. Well, see, I'm going to tell you, now I'm not a nutritionist person. I'm not an expert or anything like that. I'm only telling you what has been happening for me. And I have learned a lot through the process of the last 7 months. Through the course of the last year, my blood pressure was sky high. Sky high to the point where, for the first time in my life, my physician put me on blood pressure meds that made me feel loopy. I don't like taking medication, period. And I learned about how beets help to lower the blood pressure. Beets. And I started doing pickled beets. My son was telling me about this app because he was like, I'm cooking dinner. He's like, I'm not eating that, Dad. That stuff is full of things that aren't good for you. See, it's not the hamburgers, the bacon, or the cheese that is the problem. It's the things that they put in there with them. You know, I have lost almost 40 pounds, depending on the day. I'm somewhere between 240 and 236, and I know what you're going to say. That's a lot of weight. Here's what I learned from my doctor. He literally said, you're big boned. He said, when I look at the size of your knees and the joints, your bones are huge. We would literally have to get oversized. We have to get oversized joints when we do the knee joint replacement on it. And he said, your size, because you are that big, you're never going to be what the chart says. The chart said I should be about 178 pounds. I was 195 pounds when I had 3% body fat. So in college when I was trying to become a decathlete. So me getting to 178 pounds is not going to happen. Now, I still have a little bit right here. Let me step back a little bit. I still have, some right here in the middle. I'm not going to lie and say I don't. But when you look at my arms, there's no fat there. When you look at my legs, there's no fat there. So you can't necessarily think that the charts are for everybody. But here's the problem. You're being fooled by a lot of things, okay? A lot of times, you think you are doing the exact right thing. Eat a salad. You go to Walmart or Giant or one of the grocery stores, and you buy a bag salad. It's got salad dressing in it. You're eating that salad and thinking, I'm good to go. Well, here's the problem. I need to go in and get I got to go get a plate. Hang on for a second. Okay, so here's the problem. You get that salad, or you buy some salad dressing. If you use the Yuka app, what you're going to find out is salad dressings come out in the poor range. Even the ones that you look at that are costing you $7, $8 a bottle, those ones are just as bad as the good old Ken Steakhouse and stuff. But you're looking at it and saying, but it's a salad. But when the salad dressing is full of chemicals and sugar and salt, it becomes bad for you. It's just as bad as eating a damn burger from McDonald's. And when you start eating the burgers, and the meats that are full of all the chemicals, they create more problems too. And then, when you recognize that the food purveyors are using the same tactics on you that they use in the cigarette industry to make you want to eat more. You notice how when you eat a potato chip, you just can't eat one? Because it's designed to make you want to eat more. So you're eating stuff now that's full of chemicals. When I make cinnamon bread, cinnamon raisin bread, it's got raisins, it's got flour, it's got salt, it's got dry milk, it's got sugar, let's 2 teaspoons of sugar, and cinnamon and raisins. That's it. I looked at some Petrick's Farms, because you think Petrick's Farm, oh man, that's a big name. I like Petrick's Farm, right? So I looked at, using the Yuka app, Petrick's Farms swirl bread, which is like their cinnamon raisin bread. It comes out with 7 toxic ingredients and gets like a 22 on the scale. When I look at the Petrick's Farms butterfly cookies, that, oh, I love those. Oh, I love those. They get a 0 with toxic ingredients. And so we eat things that we think, well, it's not so bad. It's Petrick's Farm. It's got to be good. Or Applegate bacon and things. It's made by Hormel. And just because it's got a pretty label doesn't mean that it's good for you. Most of the companies, just like we learned because of Taylor Farms being in Walmart, being in Trader Joe's, being in Whole Foods, there's a perception that I'm buying good stuff that's good for me. It's bullshit. It's marketing. They're charging you more for the same stuff. Smithfield, which is, Smithfield bacon, is SK, it's Smithfield, it's 16 different labels. There's only a couple of companies that actually make products. They just have different names on them. So you think you're getting the higher price, better quality, but you're not. And the food is not designed to be good for you. It's designed to be good for their bottom line. And here's another part that's kind of scary too. Even when you go to farmers markets, you got to know where the farmers are getting their food. They could be going to Restaurant Depot and buying the same shit that's just as bad and putting it opening up the container and saying, oh yeah, it's fresh. So you have to learn and do a little bit more work to get better ingredients. 40 pounds, and I'm eating cheeseburgers with bacon. Oh, the burgers that I eat, I get from a local butcher that are cows that are raised in a field without all the steroids, without all the hormones, without all of the antibiotics. And the funniest thing is, I bring the meats home for my kids and my mother and everything else. And my daughter told me, she said, Dad, do you have any more of the hamburger? She said, I ran out. And she said, I bought some from the store, and it seemed kind of stringy, and it was kind of super greasy. He said, it's not the same. Yeah, that's the problem. Because now, a lot of times, in some of that prepackaged food that you're buying, they're using cell-based, grown in a lab meat. I'm not suggesting that you eat burgers every day. Not. But what I am suggesting is you don't eat the chemicals every day. The processed foods are the difference. My body does not have the swelling that I used to in my ankles. I used to could push my finger into my ankles and it would leave an indentation. I don't have that anymore. I've got more energy. I don't have the food cravings. and I feel 100 times better. And I swear, it's one, getting outside and moving around, and two, it's the food that I eat. So tonight, with these burgers, I'm going to try something a little different. My big tomatoes haven't started getting ripe yet, but I got a boatload of cherry tomatoes. So what I've done is I've taken cherry tomatoes, some onions, some avocado, some tropical Saison seasoning, a little salt, pepper, and some balsamic vinegar, and I've made like a tomato relish to go on the burgers. We're gonna put some pepper jack cheese on these. We got bacon, we got mushrooms, we got onions, and we got peppers to go on there. And we're gonna put them on a Dave's Killer Bun. And I'm gonna tell you, it will be delicious. So let's check it out inside. Okay, so I don't have a mini tripod to put this on, but we've got our burgers with our tomato avocado relish that we made. We got bacon. Look at that burger. We got ketchup on here, mustard. We have our grilled onions, peppers, and mushrooms. And let's do a taste test. I love these Dave's Killer Buns. Now, I heard Dave's has been bought out by one of the big bread manufacturers, so that may change. But right now, that is a killer burger. It's not the food you're eating. It's the things they put in the food that make the difference. I'm Mark Holmes. I love a good burger. Peace out.